online, and I'm coming. So welcome to H2O Mondays. Happy Monday. And you hear the bird chime alarm in the back. Welcome, welcome. If you're enjoying this, please start to contribute. Even if you contribute $1, it's amazing what a dollar can do when it comes to helping others. I am doing H2O Mondays for Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. So often we begin with a win-lose in mind or a lose-lose in mind, or we want the other to lose. We have such a society of competition and trying to control, and someone's better than you or I'm better than you, and all those things start to occur in our world. And we're all children of this planet. We all are children of the laws that work on this planet. The seasons change when they change. So I like the habits because first you have to be proactive to begin with the end in mind, and we want to begin with a win-win end in mind. And it's also H2O Monday because of water. We are predominantly water in our bodies. The planet is predominantly water, and we need water for everything. And I have two Harriets in my life. And the Harriets are Harriet Hainsworth and Harriet Tubman. And so let us open with short. Always go to Mother Teresa's Recipe for Peace. We are still in the season of nonviolence. We are when Women's History Month. We are still in Lent, and we are also in Ramadan. So there's quite a few spiritual occurrences that happen in this time. And when I say spiritual, I equate it with emotional too, because we need emotional wellness. If we're always uneasy and anxious and have anxiety, that means we don't have emotional wellness. And emotional wellness comes from these steady streams of first giving thanks to the fact that we are alive to enjoy this day, that's living in the now. And then what are we going to do with it? Are we going to do the same thing we did yesterday? If it wasn't good for us, we call that insanity. Everybody uses the word crazy. If somebody jumps out of a plane, they think they're crazy. If somebody flies. I had a godmother who did not fly a plane ever. She thought that was crazy. She was always on a train or driving. So I don't think she ever made it down south to us. But I am very adventurous. So I have done some skydiving and jet skiing and parasailing and things like that. But when it comes to insanity, that's when we do the same thing, expecting different results. And that's where the habits come in. If we've got healthy habits are going to have us progress. If we've got habits that are not so healthy, we're probably going to be repeating the same thing, wishing things were different and wondering why. And if we're wondering why, that means there's something that we have to do about it. And when we put first things first, I put this out on Facebook every day, on LinkedIn every day, and my Facebook goes to Instagram. And hopefully we'll get this out there on the calendar one day. But today is March 18th, and I put out Mother Teresa's Recipe for Peace is on our website, myhappyacademy.org. Please take your daily dosage every day. And we will read from First Things First. One of our best ways to educate our hearts is to look at our interaction with each other. Because our relationships with others are fundamentally a reflection of our relationship with ourselves. So I really like that. I'm going to read that again. One of the best ways to educate our hearts is to look at our interactions with other people, because our relationship with others are fundamentally a reflection of other relationships. A reflection of our relationship with others. So I have people that have supported me all my life as they've entered my life. And I've had people that have come into my life and gone out of my life. They supported me, and then they may have tried to take some support from me. But all of us are children of this living power. And if we're all of this living power, who we're actually interacting with is either going to raise our power or they're going to try to diminish it. So if we are looking at raising our power, one of the things we want to look at are who are our power people. And as I spoke yesterday in the mountains, Blue Ridge Mountains, which is actually beautiful. They actually look like they have a blue ridge or blue tint to them. And one of the things I spoke about was what is your superpower? Because oftentimes we are looking for superheroes to take care of us. And actually, really during COVID, what I failed to mention during the talk yesterday was those were heroes, the nurses and the doctors and all those people that were rescuing people in different situations are heroes too. But what I got to with my talk yesterday is if we're looking outside of ourselves for superheroes and then nobody shows up, what's our superpower for ourselves until we get a conglomerate or a collection of people that help us. So what I say our superpower is, and we'll use the word H2O Mondays, is beginning with the end in mind. What is our prayer? What are we asking the universe to bring us? And that is our mental equivalent. Our mental equivalent is what we hold in our minds and what we decide me becoming a Delta, I pledged. I graduated from high school. I graduated from college. I worked for a company. I had children, husbands, grandchildren because of children. All of those things are mental equivalent of everybody's ideas that's collectively around. And if you look at movies, and you know that I love movies, if you've looked at the cast of characters, it takes so many people to make a movie. You might find that one person does the idea, like Steven Spielberg is a producer or a director and a writer, but the actors, the people behind the scenes, the makeup artists, sometimes they have voiceover. We've got a voiceover expert in the making on our Zoom. And it takes that mental equivalent, those hidden figures that I talked about last week with women that worked for NASA. They paved the way from someone that looked like me to work for IBM. So all these people had a mental equivalent about what things can be. So you have people that have a mental equivalent of a high idea, and then you have people that want to bring the low ideas. So this is what I want to say about mental equivalent. It's not the right page, but whatever it says. Because one of the things, I'm going to just paraphrase it. It says, once you change your mind, you want to keep it changed. And once you keep it changed, you'll have, oh, here it is. If you want to change some conditions in your life, you must change your thought about it and keep it changed. The condition will change accordingly. All that anyone else can do for you is to help you with that thought. This is what a metaphysician can do for you. But what you must keep is your mind change. No one else can think for you. So when I spoke about this yesterday, when there was a song that they played right after in the mountains that said, Lean on Me, I have a group of people, Avis, Edward, Lakaya, all of those people, I think we can lean on each other. And I realize that we can lean on each other, and there's others that I think I could lean on. But what we lean on each other for is the God in us. We don't expect that person to have that answer for us. What we're going to these people that we are leaning on, we are actually praying with, and we trust them enough with our sacredness, our vulnerability, that we're going to just go ahead and put it out there and let the world know that we're ready for a new job, or we're ready for a new car, or we're ready for better health, or we're ready for better relationships, or we're ready for this world to change and be at peace. So I'm going to start with peace with myself and not be violence against someone else. And if I am violence against someone else, let me forgive myself so I won't do it again and I won't repeat it, because that's when the insanity kicks in. If we say that we're gonna not do something and we keep doing the same thing, then we actually aren't treating ourselves properly, which is spiritual mind treatment. I know that during the season of nonviolence, lots of things come up. And as you look at the people that power you, for March, our power out of the 12 powers that I get from the Unity community is my book. I don't think I brought it in, but it's the power that we're using for March is understanding. So with all thy getting, get understanding. March combines with the love that we got in February. Who loves you and do you love yourself? You have to love yourself first in order to give love. And then March is understanding. So we have to understand the love we give. And then January was release. So by this time in these 3 months, we should be able to release anything that's holding us back from loving and understanding that everybody is love. Everybody comes from that one power, but everybody may not understand they're from that. And that's why we see all the horrors in the world, the despairs in the world. I look at these people. These are 100 people that changed the world. Mother Teresa is on there somewhere. There she is, one of my favorite. One of the things that Mother Teresa did not do was fight. She decided that her walk was going to be a peaceful, nonviolent walk. Now, I don't think that everybody has the same walk. Everybody's is an individual, unique being. There are no two snowflakes alike, so there are no two people alike. So I'm not saying that you're going to be like Mother Teresa, but I am saying that the company we keep in our head and the company we keep in our heart is what shapes who we are out here in the world. We are all vibrational beings, so we can vibrate high or we can vibrate low. We can say yes or we can say no. We can do true things and we can do false things. We can do positive things or we can do negative things. Everybody's got a choice, including us, every single day. We could do something negative today that we did positive yesterday. That's why we don't eat once and for all, and we continuously decide to put that law, fundamental truth, first. And these people, Abraham Lincoln, Jesus, Einstein, Martin Luther King, Eleanor Roosevelt, Gandhi, and they even got what's his name on here? Hitler. Now Hitler was below the belt. So it tells you that you can have power at any level. You can have power above the line where you're doing great and positive things, or you can have power below the line because Hitler had power. There were a lot of people that died during the Holocaust. And there's a movie that's out now called Denial, where it's based on a true story where they were trying to deny that that existed. And it amazes me that someone's mental equivalent could be to control everybody else and to take over the world. If that's your mental equivalent, you need to look at history more often, because even though it looks like a lot happened and a lot of souls were committed to this quest that left us and showed us what pain and grief and despair look like through these tragedies, Hitler's story ended tragically too. So we have to be mindful of what we do, because I believe in the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect means what we put into the world comes back to us. And we can do a lot of damage with putting a lot of negative in the world. But when we put love in the world, there's negative is not coming back to you. Positive is coming back to you. That's what Mother Teresa did. She lived a long time, and then the ladies I'll transition to for Women's History Month that looks like me are Mamie Till Mosley and Mary Lee Evers Williams. And these two women actually saw their children went through a lot of tragedy during these civil rights times. So we talked about Holocaust, but we as African Americans, and I think every culture on the planet has been through some kind of imprisonment or slavery, because slavery didn't start with us. It started way before we became Americans.
Yeah.
But with those two women, the Mamie Till lost her son due to cruelty in the South. And she was able to have the strength to show his body to the world. And to me, that showed us what cruelty looked like from the inside out. We don't always see it. It might be a smiling face. And the woman, I don't recall her name. I was going to look it up and tell you, but I don't want to keep her name in my head. But the lady who accused Emmett Till of whistling at him and saying obscene things to him. And then she embellished it even more during the trial. She's a woman in history too. So we have Mamie Till, who lost her son to this. but her son was lost to another woman accusing him of something. We don't know whether it couldn't have been that bad. The boy shouldn't have been killed for whistling at a woman. And if it was more than that, why he ended up that way, we see what hatred, to me, we see what hatred looks like inside out. And then during that time, Mamie Till actually got to meet Mary Lee Evers. And Medgar Evers was a part of the civil rights movement in Mississippi, helping us to be able to vote because we weren't able to vote. That's why the juries looked the way they look. So with him, he got to introduce his wife to Mamie Till during that trial. And they got to know each other, these two women. I got to meet Mary Lee Evers, which was a beautiful thing. She was this vibrant, bright woman, and her opportunity to show us the world was as powerful as Mamie Till because her children got to see some of the violence as well. Medgar Evers was a part of the trial and a part of the quest of civil rights. And 8 years after the killing of Emmett Till, he died. Medgar Evers was killed in front of his children and his wife. So there is a lot going on, not just now, but then. And I was a child during these times. And the thing that I think it got those two women through was prayer or affirmation or beginning with the end in mind, because those women lived to quite a long time. I think Mary Lee Evers lived to be 100 and Mamie died in 2003. I think she might have been in her 80s. I would have to look that up. So with all that said, we are here to create our mental equivalent on praying and prospering. I believe that's how we get further. I believe that's how I got to where I am living in this country in this time, knowing that everybody is a product of this planet and each of us are valuable. We might forget that we're valuable because anybody can fall below the line. We can get pulled below the line, but it's our opportunity as individuals to rise above. Habit 2 is to begin with the end in mind. I hope everyone has their mission statement and they are ready to keep that moving forward. Birds of a Feather is still available. This is what I want to give out there as a quest again. Now, Birds of a Feather, during Thanksgiving and Christmas, we had some sponsorship for children that would be in the hospital. I want to do that again for Easter. So we're going to work up a flyer for that. And also, we're going to be joining the Unity Church in the Mountains. They're having a day of prayer from noon to 3. So anybody who wants access to that, steeped in prayer on Good Friday for 2024, reach out to me, give me a text. You can find my number on the website at myhappyacademy.org, because I believe if we affirm our lives, create that mental equivalent, we'll have what we need until we leave the planet and leave our energy. I believe that we're all here to pass the baton. I believe that each of these women, men and women throughout our history, have passed the baton to us, and it's up to us to pass the baton to the next generation. With that said, I think we're a few minutes after, and we're going to go into our private session. Anyone that wants to join that, I put the link out there on LinkedIn and Facebook if you want private prayer, because I've been praying more with people. For those who are not afraid of that word, if you run from it, I apologize to you that that word really just means habit 2. Affirmations begin with the end in mind. And I've been praying more and more with people. And as I pray with others, it seems like my prayers get answered. So make sure you are praying with someone. And if your prayer partner abandons you and take all your prayers with them, remember that they're children of God too. Whether they use it properly or not, like Hitler, it comes back around in the long run that everything will work out better in the end. Why we have to go through the pain, I can't answer. It started with Cain and Abel. If people believe in the Bible, I believe that the Big Bang explosion told us there was pain too. So we have to figure out how do we get past the pain, and I believe prayer is the key. We're going to close out today with richer living. I believe that we're all able to decide by keeping our word that we can live richly. This is 3:18. And this says, I am warmed by the love of God. And if you want to change the word God to law, because it's natural law, it's fundamental truths, that word will work too. There are many Bible books that I like, and from the Bible, it says John 3:1. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should call the sons of God. It has truly been said that love is the lodestone of life, the treasure of earth, the higher gift of heaven. We all wish to feel that we are kept in the arms of love, protected by its shelter and warmed by its feelings. But some might ask, how do we really know that the universe rests on the shoulders of love? The answer is more simple than it appears. For instance, no one is ever harmed by love. I really like that statement when I read it this morning. The more love there is in one's life, the better off it is. While the opposite to love, which is hate and dislike, can actually consume a person mentally and destroy his health physically. If then love tends to build up while the opposite tends to destroy, we may be certain that there is a universal reality to it, that we actually are immersed in the infinite love as we are divine wisdom. And we must learn to feel the presence of this love and rely on it. Therefore, let each of us say daily, I am one with the love of law. I am one with the love of law with all people. My love goes out to everyone, and I know that it returns from everyone. Overlooking everything that might seem to deny this divine benevolence, I trust that the infinite love will guide and protect me in everything. And I am counseled to my soul to show forth this love in such a manner that it shall embrace and warm the heart of humanity, bringing confidence and trust and faith to all it touches. All right, so start contributing. We got some ideas that we want to just put out in the world. I'm actually going to be going over to the Children's Hospital. They've got a library over there, and some people have been telling me that's a good place to put Birds of a Feather and start to see whether we can populate the book more in Children's Hospital. So those that want to sponsor that, reach out to me. Birds of a Feather is available on Barnes and Noble and Amazon, and I have copies too. So I look forward to all the things we're about to do. Join us in a week. Thank you, everyone on Facebook. Hey there.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm well.
Good. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming, Avis. I'm sorry we missed each other earlier, but we'll make it tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And welcome, cousin.